Welcome to the Horror and Gore Horror Movie Podcast, your number one podcast for all things horror. I'm your host, Big Goobs, and of course, I'm always joined by my friend and co-host, Dakota. How are you, Dakota?
What's up, Goobs? I'm doing good. But first of all, how are you doing today?
I'm good, man. Just been a good day. Got a few movies in, so I can't complain. Ready to talk about our main topic. Should be a good one.
So let's go and let's start with what we have watched this week. So, Goobs, I'll actually let you go first this week.
All right, sounds good. So I watched a few films here. So the first one I ended up watching was Bad Haircut, which is a horror comedy that I was able to check out through another Hole in the Head film festival. And it's been hitting a couple other film festivals. It was at Fantastic Fest, Film Quest, I believe, as well. It's doing great on the uh, film festival circuit. It's hilarious. It's a horror comedy about a crazy sadistic barber. So think if Buffalo Bill was a hairdresser, and it's fucking fantastic. The main guy who plays the barber, Frankie Ray, chef's kiss. Then I watched a cosmic horror called Beyond the Drumlins. Now, this one is about a teacher and a few of his students that are archaeologists. They go out into this forest to look for stuff in this particular region of the forest, and then it turns into this cosmic horror, mind-bending, just what the hell is going on type of movie. Really good. Definitely one that you have to pay attention to, because on the first watch, I don't think my brain was able to comprehend exactly what happened, but it's shot well. The performances are good. And at the end, you're just like, what the fuck? So it's worth the watch.
Okay.
Then I watched a little gem called Hoagie, which has been talked about by a few of our friends, that it's one that we should watch, and I can concur. It's about a little ooey gooey creature. It's a fun, goofy, zany, like full on DIY. They made it for $10,000 in the guys' backyards and shit. Like, it's one of those movies that they put their heart and soul into it, and you can tell just by how the movie plays out. It's not going to be for everybody, but it was a wild one. And then I also went to the theater today and watched our main topic, which we'll get into that later. What about you? What have you watched this week?
Only watched one thing. That was our main topic.
Hell yeah! At least, hey, that's all good. We're gonna get into that, and we'll get into that pretty quick because the horror news is a little bit dry over those last few days. So just have a couple pieces. I will jump into the first piece. Skeet Ulrich won't be the first time we mention his name on this podcast. Reveals original plans for Scream 7. Now, you're going to have to give me a little insight on that because I saw the article headline, but I did not read much into it.
So, of course, he's talking about the Scream 7 movie that was supposed to be directed by, and I think written by Christopher. No, it's going to be written by, I think, Kevin Williamson, still directed by Christopher Landon. This is going to be the one starring Melissa Barrera and Jenna Ortega before everything happened. I'm just going to say is what we're getting right now and what's going to happen was going to mess up this whole entire franchise either way. That's all I'm going to say. Because Ski has said the original plan was for Sam to be the killer or Ghostface in Scream 7. That's what was Billy's process during the whole entire trilogy of those movies, was to make her the Ghostface killer. And I think it's been bad because you got Sam as one of these, kind of like the new Sidney Prescott of the Scream franchise in 5 and 6. And if you just had, especially her in 6 did so good, and if you're going to just have her become the bad guy in 7, that would it will be like what everyone's saying is with Sidney Prescott. If they turned her to the Ghostface, or they, spoilers for I Know What You Did Last Summer, like what they did with Ray.
Yeah.
Turn him into the killer. It would just kind of ruin, I think, those first 2 movies with that, and kind of be pointless.
Yeah, if they would have went through with that, and that ended up being how 7 played out, it would have made those prior to the prior 6 and 5 just be absolutely hogwash. You know what I mean? Because so they should have stopped after 4, but
they could have stopped after 6. 6 has the perfect ending. Them walking off the masses on the ground.
Yeah, they should have. But they got to keep squeezing on that proverbial tit to milk it dry.
True.
but
I'm wondering now where that's not the plan anymore. Of course, Cindy is back. And like, we haven't talked about the trailer because you've seen the trailer, right?
Yeah, I watched it.
And like with Ghostface going after her daughter, which her name is Tatum, because of course Dewey's sister was named Tatum in the first movie.
Yeah.
I don't know how they're going to do this. I don't know if it's going to be the AI stuff with bringing all these Ghostface characters back, or if it actually is going to be Stu somehow at the very end, which was supposed to be the original idea for Scream 3 until you know what happened back in during that time.
Yeah, it was going to be some like cultish activity and stuff with Stu, and then the whole school shootings happened, and they kind of went away from that, which I get, but we'll see how it plans out. I'm not going to rush to the theater to go see it. So we'll see how it goes.
So up next, for our second piece of horror movie news, Horror in the High Desert, the found footage franchise, one of the found footage franchise, just had its 4th movie dropped like out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Have you seen this franchise, Goobs?
I've seen 1 and 2. I haven't even seen the 3rd one yet. And then with this one just dropping, I was like, I'm slacking.
So I haven't seen not any of them. So I'm going to try to catch up because 1 and 2 is on Prime and Screenbox. If you guys haven't seen them, that's where they are. And you have to rent 3 and you have to rent 4.
Yeah.
There's also going to be a 5th one. The 4th one is called Horror in the High Desert 4 Majesty. Yeah. And it looks like the 5th one is going to be called Horror in the High Desert 4, not 4, but 5. I think it's Messiah.
Yeah. Like I said, I've only seen the first 2, and it was a while ago, but I know they're really well made, and they are pretty fucking scary. And I've heard a lot of the reviews about the 4th one being some people saying that it's the scariest one so far, which is crazy to think that the 4th one is the scariest one. You know what I mean? So may have to do a little binge watching on that franchise this week.
Me too. It's been on my watch list for a little while.
Yeah. Well, that's just the news that we got today. So we're going to jump right into it, our main topic. But before we get into that, if you're not following the podcast, do it now. Like, hit the subscribe if you're watching on YouTube. And then let's get on into this. It's Five Nights at Freddy's 2. So I guess I want to jump right in. And we're going to go non-spoiler first, and then we'll jump into it like we normally do with the little spoilers. But first question before we get into like our reviews, are you familiar with any of the lore within the Five Nights at Freddy's universe.
Okay, this one will say I haven't played any of the games, but after some reviews, and I think especially shout out to 3EC Films, especially with his videos. He talks about a lot of the lore in his videos, so I have got like caught up with at least these first two movies. So when stuff was happening, and I will explain the stuff when I get to the spoilers. There's a lot of stuff that I noticed in the movie that I knew was lore, and that's why when I talk about my spoiler-free review, what's my opinions are on the movie, that's why it swayed one way or another with it.
Yeah, same. I never played the games. I never read the books and whatnot, but I've watched people play the game. And so I know kind of the stuff that they hinted at throughout the second one, especially little Easter eggs and things like that. I was like, oh, okay. That's where they're putting that aspect of it into the movie. So as far as the movie goes itself, I can jump right in with my spoiler free, because without being a hardcore fan of the game, and I enjoyed the first one. I thought it was a solid gateway horror. I will say this one definitely I felt was better than the first one. I felt it expanded on the story and the lore. I thought that there were definitely more jump scares and more violence. However, a lot of the violence is done off screen. So it still fits within the PG-13
Realm.
realm. So it's still within that gateway type beginner horror. There were some very creepy moments within this film with some of the characters. I'll go further into that in the spoiler part. But as far as the animatronics go, still fucking cool. One of my favorite things about this whole world of Five Nights at Freddy's is the design of the animatronics and how they are, because it's just, I don't know if the Henson project was still doing this one, Jim Henson, because I know they were doing the puppeteering and everything in the last one. I'm pretty sure they're probably still doing it in this one, but I can't confirm nor deny. But I love that whole puppeteering and animatronics and things like that. So from a fan of that standpoint, I enjoyed it. There were some genuine scares that got me. And for what it was a decent horror movie for me to sit down, turn my brain off, and enjoy. Now, I didn't go in looking for the Easter eggs, but some did present themselves to me with what I knew about it. So I thought it was a solid film and an enjoyable one.
So for me going into this one, as you guys know, I'm a big Blumhouse fan, but I kind of put that aside, and there was a lot of negative reviews going to this also. I put that aside. Going to this with an open mind. Enjoyed the first movie. Thought it was okay. So when I went into this one, I kind of like we wasn't looking for the lore in this movie. I just wanted to be a good follow-up to the first movie. And that's what we got. I'm going to say I actually love this movie. I give it 4.5. It's not 5 stars, 4.5. It does have problems in this movie. And I will get to that and mostly the spoiler, but a couple of them was, like you said, the off-screen kills, making the PG-13 was one. I felt like the story a little bit was scattered all over the place.
I can agree there.
And there was some moments in this. Oh, what I was going to say, the ending, and we will talk about the end. The last shot in this movie, kind of took me off a little bit because it didn't seem like the end of the movie. It felt like there was something that could have happened afterwards. It felt like this could have been a part 1 of a part 2 instead of a sequel. They could have kind of like what they're doing, like what they have done with all the other part ones, part twos, like from the books to what they're doing with like the Spider-Man movies and all that stuff, be like continued. But great movie. I like the lore in this a lot. The lore really helped it, especially knowing some of the lore. And picking up the Easter eggs really helped it. I like the villain in this a lot, especially more than the first one. I know I'm gonna get like ridiculed for that because, of course, the villain in the first one is William Afton, and that's Matthew Lillard's character. But I did like the villain more and the motive more for the second one.
How dare you hate on Matthew Lillard like that?
Okay, I like his first one,
I know.
but I like his character, but I felt like his character was just like brushed to the side.
Yeah, no, for sure. I did enjoy the villain in this one. Super creepy, and I liked how they. I guess one of the positive things, not going into any spoilers, but yeah, how they have a different villain within the same universe that still has something to do with the original bad guy. You know what I mean? Like it still has something to do with Matthew Lillard's character, but this is its own person with their own motives and everything like that. So I dig that. But as far as non-spoilers, is that all you got? You want to jump into our spoiler conversation?
Yes.
All right, sounds good. So if you haven't seen Five Nights at Freddy's 2, click off the video, pause the podcast, go watch it, and then come back. And because we're going to jump into some spoilers here. And
I would definitely say, before we get into spoilers, definitely go watch this movie in theaters because I think this movie is a theater movie more than a watch at home movie.
Yeah, I agree because the first one came out simultaneously on Peacock in the theater, and I didn't see the first one in theaters. It definitely sets the mood and gets you kind of in the headspace within Five Nights at Freddy's for this one. So I agree. If you can go to the theater, definitely would recommend it there.
So we're going to get into spoilers now. So to brush off this comment, or like branch off this comment. So I saw the first one in theaters. While I had a simultaneous release, I went to the theater, saw it with Mom. That feels like you can watch it at home. Like you said, the first one is like Mike Schmidt and of course Vanessa, which is William Afton's daughter, trying to get these kids out of these animatronic suits and onto a better place, and trying to help Abby a little bit because Abby's in a tougher time in the first one.
Yeah,
and trying to figure out who this guy is. It's not William. It's William Afton, but he goes by a different first name. So you can watch it either in theaters or at home. It didn't feel like a movie they needed to see in the theater. But this one definitely, and it starts out with a marionette.
Yeah, the fucking marionette is one of the scary. I'm going to go out on a limb. I'm a grown ass man, okay, but that fucking marionette is one of the scariest fucking horror creatures that I've seen. I don't know what it is, but the mime face, the long, lanky legs and arms, and the knives for fingers and shit, it was terrifying. How it moved, dude, scary as shit. Sorry, I had to throw that out there because
I'm trying.
That was my favorite design of the villain right there.
I was looking this up while you were talking about that, to see if the marionette was the scariest character so far in the movie. She is. Yeah, because it's not the scariest characters in the game so far. If we can get part 4, oh my god! They say there's somebody in that game that's more terrifying.
Yeah. Can I say this real quick? And I may be talking out of my ass at this point because, like I said, I'm not a Five Nights at Freddy's expert or anything like that. But the real, I don't want to say the real fans, but like the real fans of the lore and the games and everything like that, they seem to agree on a consistent basis that these movies are done very well. From an outside eye, it's convoluted. It's kind of, over here a little bit, over there a little bit, but we don't know how this story is played out in the video games. The only thing I know from the video games is that it's a guy working working on the security cameras, and if you put the light on it, they stop, those type of things, which I liked how they played off into that role in this one, especially when he's off into the when he's trying to track the animatronics and things like that. So it gives you that feel just from the outside looking in. You're like, oh, hey, I know about that. But as far as the deep side of the lore with the books, and I think they have books and graphic novels within this. And I don't even know, do they have like a web series too? Maybe it's
I think the web series is kind of like that little game they have in the VR right now.
Yeah,
like in the Oculus.
Yeah, maybe it's just like fan made. But there's a whole story that we're inept to. We don't know about it. So I went into this just trying to see like, hey, is this enjoyable to me? I will say before I continue, I won't go on this tangent. Like I was talking to you earlier, the one thing that I did not like, and of course, this being a Blumhouse film, they kind of run into that same habit of doing. Anytime they wanted to fucking have a jump scare, they just blasted your eardrums with fucking piercing volume. And it started to get to me toward the end where it was just like you could see them coming, and it fucking hurt my ears so bad.
Especially are you talking about?
Oh,
no, you can continue. I got a question after you're done.
Especially with like when the marionette was behind somebody, or they went to do that little surprise jump scare, and all of a sudden you just get this piercing volume and a scream, and it's just like, fuck. That's the only thing. If they would have set those jump scares up a little bit different to where it had more of rather than just like a piercing fucking volume, where instead of going, holy crap, that was scary, it's like, oh, my ears are bleeding. That was just a personal preference, though. I know a lot of people didn't see it that way. They enjoy jump scares like that. But what did you think of that aspect of it as a jump scare part? Because this one was definitely scarier than the first one. But they started to do that loud volume, predictable jump scare.
So is the the question I was going to ask you, is the loud jump scares only with a marionette?
There was another one when Foxy showed up in the out of nowhere. He popped up, and
Are you talking about in the car?
Yeah, those scenes were super loud, and I know that you have to. I know sound is a big thing when it comes to horror scares, because if you think about it, you could look at somebody getting just absolutely brutalized, and you're just like, oh man, that's crazy. But when you throw in the sounds and the sound effects, it just gives it that little more oomph. So I understand how important sound plays a part in scaring somebody. But damn, when it's just a fucking just a loud ass crash and scream, that was the biggest deal. That was the biggest issue I had with this film. It had nothing to do with the story being convoluted and kind of here and there, because that's not something that I went into this movie looking for. You know what I mean?
Yeah, so what I'm thinking is Foxy, I don't have no clue about that in the games. But anybody that has played the games, correct me if I'm wrong. I think the marionette, though, the loud sounds are in the game for her character.
Mm.
So that's why it's probably heightened up in the movie.
Yeah.
What did I think of them, though? They didn't get me whatsoever. I kind of knew they were coming, but of course, kind of knowing that lore of the jump scares, And of course, there you kind of did see some of the aftermath or their before jump scares in the trailer, so I kind of knew of which way it was going.
Yeah.
But as a person probably that hasn't seen the trailer and is not as probably influenced like we are and a lot of our other hard knowledge friends and people that we know, it will probably affect them more than us.
Yeah.
Because we're used to like this is a PG-13 horror movie with jump scares. We're used to like Conjuring, Insidious, even though it's the jump scares, they're more like except sound, like they have sound, but more in your face.
Yeah.
And like we're used to the sound.
Yeah, 100%. I was gonna ask, how did I guess we're kind of jumping ahead, but it's on my brain because the way that you said when I left the theater, my first thought was that ending and how it was set up. I want to jump right into it just because it's fresh in my brain, and that was the one thing that stuck out to me the most. And with you saying that in your spoiler free, if you want to jump into that, I have a question about the ending for you.
Okay.
Why the fuck did they take that cop out? Like, I felt like that was I didn't like how they set that up where the marionette takes her and now she's going to be like the new bad guy and like want to get revenge on Abby and I can't remember Josh Hutchinson's name.
Mike
Schmidt. Yeah, they're gonna like she's gonna be the big bad now, and we come to find out that was her brother, that was the security guard to release Cheyenne.
No, Charlotte.
I was close, but that was his plan to release her, and then the whole big thing was to get the animatronics outside of Freddy Fazbear's Pizza so they could wreak havoc on the town and everything like that. I get it. I appreciate the motive of Charlotte herself, because at the beginning of the movie, none of the parents were listening. None of the adults were, they didn't give a damn about her concern for the little boy getting taken by Afton's character. And she ended up saving the little boy, but getting shanked and killed in the process and taken down with the marionette. That was a cool setup, but I feel like her taking over. God, why can't I remember her name? The blonde chick, Vanessa taking over Vanessa, and then just having that be the end of it, and showing the badge on the ground of her brother's security badge. I'm like, okay, now they're gonna join the family business, quote unquote, and go after them again. I didn't like how that was set up. I kind of liked the thought process of them all, them three being together and going out and because it's all going to come back with Skeet Ulrich's character and things like that being a part of having stuff from his co-working with Afton. I just didn't like it. What did you think of that ending? I thought they could have went somewhere else with it.
So, I done a lot of research after this. Even though Vanessa is William Afton's daughter, it feels like they're trying to put two characters into one.
Yeah.
From especially video game lore, because a lot of people are saying it's another character. The way that they set this up, that in the game that the marionette takes over this person and it becomes this person. So I'm wondering if they're trying to mix Vanessa, I forgot the other character's name, together to make that story. And if it goes along with the lore, but change it up a little bit, but if it still goes along with the lore, we can maybe we can, I know it's done. It's done dirty to do it the final shot of the movie. But to be honest with you, here you go. I just thought of it. the last shot of the movie.
Yeah.
She tells her brother that he doesn't want him. He doesn't. She doesn't want him, and she doesn't want her father anymore. She wants to be with Mike. Mike's her new president, and Abby is her new family.
Mm-hmm.
Mike tells her to get away because he doesn't want nothing to do with her anymore. It's no, to be honest, it's possession. It's. Think of this. She's broken, right?
Yeah.
She's not strong. And when someone's weak and broken, a demon can take over. The marionette, think of marionette as a demon.
Yeah.
Takes over the body.
Yeah, because same thing when she took over Abby, she's dealing with the trauma of, Chica and all them, not having any friends, yada, yada. So, yeah, I get where you're coming from. I think that that ending, it suffers from not knowing the lore of it all for regular horror goers. You know what I mean? It kind of, because I'm like, man, why did they have to go about doing this? If they wanted to keep this story going, like they all leave the house and, then all of a sudden you see the marionette kind of go somewhere else or whatever. You know what I mean? And
or look out the window.
Yeah, or look out the window like she's still out there. So it's coming back. This one was just kind of like, hey, we're coming back and she's going to be the villain again, or she's going to be the bad person. And it's like, well, damn, you're already setting it up kind of like too much, if that makes sense. I don't know. I just, after the whole movie and the whole relationship factor between Vanessa and Mike and Abby and all that, especially what they went through, I'm just like, for them to just switch it up, I was like, not what I would do, but of course, like I said, I feel like the writing of this movie goes and leans more into the fans of the film and the fan service of it. So if they're happy, the filmmakers are happy because that's who they're making the film for. You know what I mean?
I was going to ask you a question now. You said you had some people in your theater showing before we started recording. Did any of them you think knew the lore? Like was there any reactions to stuff that was popped up on the screen?
Oh, brother. Not like during the movie itself, but I will tell you, if you do go watch this movie, if you haven't seen it, if you do go watch it, there are a mid-credit scene and an after-credit vocal or audio clip. So stay. Did you stay?
Okay, I stayed. I knew the post-credit scene. I was halfway down the ramp to go out to the door when I heard the audio clip. I turned around, I'm like, oh, there's more. So I walked back up and stayed right in the corner.
So when the audio clip was playing, I was going down the stairs, and there's two people in the couple, and you knew that they were fucking big fans because they were there before anybody else. They were talking about it before the movie started, and then when it ended, they were like, one of them stood up and was like super hyped. So you knew that they knew what the lore was. And when that audio clip was playing of Skeet Ulrich's character talking about he still has a lot of this equipment and it's old, but this is what he has, she was like clapping and like super hyped. So this film is total fan service for the hardcore Five Nights at Freddy's fans, which I'm totally cool with. But yeah, they were definitely excited.
So I had one person my showing, right?
Yeah.
And this one person, I'm glad it was this person because they knew the video game. Because they missed the audio clip. I wish they kind of stayed in there for the audio clip.
Yeah.
But I think a lot of people don't know about the audio clip. They know about the post-credit scene.
I had to Google
I wish I saw her reaction to the audio clip. But I did see one of her reactions. When McKenna Grace and them's character go to the original Fazbear Pizzeria.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, Mike, called us. I'm thinking, okay, Mike Schmidt, right?
Yeah.
And this other dude walks up and he's like, my name's Mike. She's like, I heard her down there. No way.
Yeah, so she already had it figured out. She knew where it was going.
I kind of knew because, of course, 3 sees videos. But what is weird with this is that in the games, Mike Schmidt is actually Michael Afton. And I thought that's where they were going to go with the first one.
Yeah.
And once the other dude popped up and he was Michael Afton, I'm like, where are they going to go with this? Because is Mike Schmidt not going to be a child of Michael Afton ever? Or is he just going to be over here, normal Joe over here with Afton's daughter?
Yeah. I have no idea. Like I said, this is this is kind of what I feel like from a non-Freddy Five Nights at Freddy's lore person feels like. It feels like this movie is about a brother and sister. You know, the brother's taking care of the sister. He's down on his luck. He needs to find a job. Gets put in this situation where he runs into this fucking like child murderer. He's now affected by the child murderer, and they're dealing with the grief and trauma because that murderer took his brother when he was a kid. And then like you have this big, long, convoluted story, but we're dealing with animatronics now over here in the second one, and this other girl that got killed by the same killer that killed his brother, and he's trying to get with the killer's daughter. So it's all over the place. As a person who doesn't know what the fuck is going on with the actual lore, but I'm very simple when it comes to enjoying things. I enjoy the animatronics. I enjoy the way they look, the story behind what I feel the story is. I mean, shit, who doesn't think killer animatronics is cool? You know what I mean? So I enjoyed it for what it was, but do I know what I'm watching? No. You know what I mean? Does that make sense?
Yes, I feel like what we are, because I don't know anything about the third one. Like after this one, I'm like, oh, where's the story going to go? Like, this is how much I know about the lore. Unless if anybody else throws some videos out there about the third one, is I feel like the Halloween movies, when the Halloween movie comes out, of how many time lamps there are.
Yeah.
And the general audience member goes in and they're like, wait, I thought that was that and that and that. And we're over here like, we know what it is.
Yeah.
I feel like that's where the general audience member for Five Nights at Freddy's movie.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Like we're so well versed in like the origination of Halloween, or you know, Friday the 13th or Freddy or all them. So if you got somebody brand new coming in, it's like you have them watch a sequel of it, they're gonna go, what the fuck is happening? Like what is this timeline? So you mean to
like
tell
Halloween
me
2018,
right?
somebody going in and remember their sisters and brother number 2, they cut that out in 2018. So if somebody's watching, no sister and brother,
They're like, wait, they're not sister. Wait, what? I thought he was. Yeah. So I guess my thing is, not everything in a specific genre has to be made for everyone in that specific genre. Does that make sense? Like you could have a horror movie made for a specific set of people that isn't going to vibe and isn't going to make sense to others. And that's fine. But when they're like review bombing and all this other stuff, but then on the back end of it, you got a lot of fucking Five Nights at Freddy's fans going after the people that are giving bad reviews. And they're just like, you're stupid. You don't know what the hell's going on. They're like, yeah, well, if you're going to make a movie about a franchise, you may want to give a little bit of substance for somebody who doesn't know the lore about it. You know what I mean? Like, case in point, this is going to sound really ridiculous. The Minecraft movie, right? Nobody knows. I don't know shit about the Minecraft movie, or I don't know shit about Minecraft itself.
To be honest with you, as a person whose younger brother loves to play Minecraft, he said that movie didn't have to do shit with that movie. There was nothing in that movie,
Right.
barely.
So, my where I was going with it, I don't know shit about the lore of Minecraft, right? But when you watch the Minecraft movie, you're like, oh, okay, you're at this world. It's made of blocks, whatever. It doesn't make it for just the people that know what the hell a creeper is and what the hell, like, the objective of the game is. It made it for just a broad audience to just say, hey, here's the basis of it. It's a world. You can build anything, do anything. You got this fucking orb thing. It's cool. They made it so specific in Five Nights at Freddy's that if you go in not knowing anything, you're going to be confused as shit. You know what I mean?
Another one that I think is going to hurt. It's not horror, but I think it's going to hurt unless if you know the lore of the games, which is they follow the lore. And that's the new Call of Duty movie.
Jesus Christ, I didn't know they were making a Call of Duty movie.
Yes, they are. And if you know, to be honest with you, also Mortal Kombat. If you don't know the lore, not the more, but the lore of the Mortal Kombat movies, it's going to be like, I like watching the movies. I barely play the games except the combat. I don't play the campaign. So going into like that first movie,
yeah,
I didn't know nothing. I knew who Scorpion, all of them were, but I'm like, I don't know any of the movie.
yeah.
So, but I enjoyed it as a general audience member, and like I have looked into it afterwards. So
Yeah.
I'm hoping this movie. Of course, I'm not going to say go out there and play the games because there's like 10 of these games.
Right.
But look on Wikipedia, look online, read some articles, read some Reddit feeds, get some lore background.
Yeah.
Especially probably where they're going to make the third movie now. Go into it, or if you haven't even watched the second one yet. And first of all, you guys are still on a spoiler part to cut off and go watch the movie and come back. But if you don't know anything, go read some stuff, Reddit forums about Five Nights at Freddy's 2, the game, and go into it and see if it does better, or even if you have watched the movie, go read the lore, come back and watch the movie and see if you liked it better. Because there is one specific scene that I heard several people have said this, and it's the part where Mike's at the computer.
Yeah.
And that's part of the lore. And they think it's too long and everything. And because they're like, oh, this thing happens, this thing happens, this thing happens. That's what happens in the game. You're trying to figure out this, but there's so many distractions around you and everything. And especially when he puts on the face and they recognize it. I knew that from the video game because I've heard people talk about it, which I picked up on that real quick. Yeah. And I like how they added that into the movie. So it's a lore thing. You just have to learn the lore a little bit going into this movie. I think you'll enjoy it.
Yeah. And I feel like, and I may be thinking too deep into this, but like regular horror fans have the right to say, hey, as a horror movie, as a horror franchise, this storytelling does not make sense for the average bear. Okay? See what I did? Bear, fast bear. Mm-hmm. Okay, good. You know, this it doesn't work for the average bear. However, on the flip side, the people that know what this is and they say, no, this is fucking great. It's working. This is what it's supposed to be. You have to accept the criticism that other people that don't know what you know, both are valid. And I feel like out of all the movies that have been having shit talking back and forth, I'd have never thought it'd been a Five Nights at Freddy's movie. You know what I mean? Like, so all in all, everybody has the right to criticize what they don't feel is good storytelling or a good movie to them. But on the flip side, they shouldn't go and say that this, you're stupid for liking this because it's fucking doesn't make any sense, and vice versa. They shouldn't say you're stupid for not understanding it and blah, blah, blah. Like, I just feel like there's so much angry discourse behind this fucking movie.
Yeah, and that's why I kind of said, like, I knew some of the lore. I gave it 4.5. Like, I've seen some people give it 1 stars that we know, or like 2.5. Like, I am not going to like shit talk them or ridicule them because they didn't like the movie. It's just they didn't know the lore.
Yeah.
Like, if they know the lore and like rewatch, they might like it more. Yeah. Am I forcing them to go read the lore? No, they have that decision if they want to, or anybody that watches it if they want to.
Yeah. And I'll say this. I don't know anything about this, but after watching this, it made me want to go a little further and explore the lore of it. And I think that's what they may have been going for, because it's like, we're going to make this movie for our fans. And the people that aren't the fans of it, maybe they'll get a little taste of what it is, and they'll want to be a part of it and learn a little bit, which is totally fine. But on the grand scheme of things, you can't tell me that this is a cohesive story that a regular horror fan is going to go into and go, that's a good movie. That's a good story. You know what I mean? It's just not going to happen.
Yeah. So, I want to talk about the big two. Matthew Lillard and Skeet Ulrich in this. I feel like their characters, they were the main market pushers in this. And, it was really bad how much they got screen time in this movie.
Dude, what the hell?
Especially Matthew Lillard. He got probably, 3-4 minutes tops?
You get the beginning where he takes the kid. Then you get a little bit of within her dream sequence. And that's it, really.
And that post-credit scene.
Oh, yeah, and then the post-credit scene. Oh, and I guess within the when she's in her spin class.
Yeah.
And I feel like they tried to put a lot of use of trauma and all that stuff in this film, which is fine, but I don't think it really necessarily fit this story progression. You know what I mean? Like, they were harping about Abby's trauma and everything like that from the first one and also into this one, because, her friends are the kids in the suits, so I felt like they were trying to make it deeper in that aspect for regular moviegoers to figure out, but it was just done so back burner. You know what I mean? Like, we're just going to throw trauma in here.
So I felt like this is one of the problems when I said I felt like it was like all over the place. You had too much storylines in this. You had one, the relationship between Mike and Vanessa, the trauma between not only Abby's trauma but Vanessa's trauma. Yeah. Of course, the marionette storyline, the Michael Afton storyline. Then you got the fucking the school storyline with the damn teacher.
Dude, first off, fuck that guy. Fuck that guy. That dude pissed me off. Why was he such a dick the whole time to her? For no reason.
Then, of course, you got McKenna Grace in them storyline.
Yeah.
So that's 6 storylines right there that you trying to get into one movie.
Mind you, the movie's only an hour and 45 minutes. But first, can we turn back? Did I miss something? Why was he such a dick to him? Why was he such a dick to her? Did I miss something? Like he just like call her stupid and call her you're a fucking waste of our school and
Do
stuff
you
like.
think it's the aunt? You know how the aunt was bringing up the stories and everything around the town about Abby? You
I
think
mean,
it's that problem issue?
yeah, you might be right because I was just like, what am I missing? First off, I was like, you know what? I know this guy's gonna die, which is fine, but I'm like, why is he such a dick?
And also off-screen death. His
Another
death,
one,
if it was on screen, would have been
dude. If they would have showed him getting his fucking head squeezed up like a grape, dude, that'd have been sick.
I wish they could have done the shadow thing like they done in the first one.
Oh
When that
yeah,
girl gets her head bitten off, oh, that would have been so
yeah.
cool if you done the shadow.
That shit was crazy. Yeah, because I thought they were gonna go. Excuse me. I thought they were gonna go harder in this one, and then when everything was starting to get off screen, I'm like, that's a bummer because
It does get a little bit gorier in some points though.
yeah,
Especially when they and brings it back to this other storyline, which is McKenna Grace and them's storyline of the YouTube paranormal investigators.
oh yeah.
So you got her as the main person. Do you know the boy with the camera? You know where he played in?
Uh-uh.
Final Destination Bloodlines.
Oh yeah, okay.
So he's that. What you were gonna say?
Real quick, because you know how like the original, because this is a different restaurant, right?
Yes, this is the main one, and
Yeah.
the other ones are the franchises.
So the first Five Nights at Freddy's was a different restaurant than this one, and all of a sudden, like halfway through the movie, I'm going, wait, this is a different fucking restaurant. How did we even get here? You know what I mean? No, it didn't like. That was another part of the story where either I just missed it or it just wasn't explained within the transition from the old one to the new one. You know what I mean? Did you feel that way, or am I just stupid?
At first, I'm like, because of course I saw in the trailer that they were like, oh, this is that she explained to them, McKenna Grace's character, that this is the original one. So I'm like, oh, it must be that. But I kind of picked up on it because, of course, the marionette is in the original one, right? And the boat and everything. And when Abby went back to the pizzeria from the first one, that had none of it in it. And I'm like, okay, this is two separate ones.
Yeah. Yeah, because I was like, I don't remember the fucking boat in the first one.
Especially the trap door, because I think the marionette was supposed to be a prototype they were trying there, then they were going to expand it out. That's why Michael said there was only one when he was showing them around the area.
Yeah. And also, going back to Matthew Lillard and Skeet Ulrich, kind of just like a throwaway, I felt like you didn't even need Skeet Ulrich in this movie. You gave him 5 minutes of fucking time to explain a little bit of being Charlotte's dad. Gives Mike the music box, and that's it. That's all you hear. And then you hear the audio clip.
But I like the audio clip because you get then that he is Henry. Oh fuck, what's his last name?
Let
me look. I got right here. Henry. Damn it. Fuck. This cast is so long. Oh shit. I will have to look this up. Sorry guys. Oh shit. I forgot his last name for real. Do you know what Goose?
I don't remember. I'm terrible with the names.
I'm trying to look up right now. Skeet Ulrich. Yeah, there we go. Because I know they have him in the third one. Henry Emily. I thought it was Henry Emily. Yes. So we don't find out till that audio clip that he's Henry Emily.
Yeah.
But for general audience, but if you were going everywhere across social media, you kind of already knew it. But I didn't know 100% if he was, and once he said in the movie.
Yeah. But I feel like they put him in there just for that little bit of, yeah, here's the music box. I played a music box, and that, well, I don't know. It just felt like it.
It helped with the lore a little bit, especially with the music box.
It helped with the lore in here, but I felt like they just put him in there because he's going to be the bigger part in the third one. You know what I mean? Like, I felt like, how a lot of people were saying within 28 years later that this one was made because choices were made in this one because it's setting up for the Bone Temple. I feel like this is what they're doing. They're setting this up for the third one, and the third one is going to be like the magnus opus of Freddy Fazbear. You know what I mean?
Like what I was saying, part 1 and part 2.
Yeah, like they're setting it up for the big one to be number 3, which is all fine, but I thought we were going to get at least a little bit of closure in this one, a little bit of, but no. But
yeah.
It just, like I said, it's not, I keep harping on it, but it's not for us per se, but, just, we already know, because it made what, $65 million? So we already know just by the money that they were going to make another one, but they were already going to make another one because they've already pretty much said that this is like Matthew Lillard's baby kind of thing, you know what I mean? He's a big fan of this franchise, and
we got airplane in the background.
There's a freaking motorcycle, dude. Yeah, I live right by the road right there, so it's just
it. You know what? It's Abby. She's got a motorcycle now. She's going back to Freddy's Pizzeria.
Yeah. But
this has made $110 million so far worldwide.
Yeah. So, yeah, it's fucking nuts. So we already know due to the money they're going to do it, but they've already come out when they were making this one that a third one's coming out anyway. So we already knew that. So I feel like when you are already set to make a trilogy, you can kind of lack on the story development within the first 2 to get to that third one. Kind of like what they're doing with the Stupid Stranger chapter 1, 2, and 3. You know what I mean? They're kind of just having a dog shit story to make it to the third one. And that's where it's all going to come together. But shit, at least make a good story that's coherent enough in the first and second one. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I feel like I feel like I'm being too critical of a beginner horror movie, but still, neither here nor there.
So the original plan for this was supposed to be a trilogy, right? I feel like now, with how much money they're making and the lore and everything, and the fandom coming up now, and more people get into this and get into the fandom, I feel like there's not going to be 3. I think they're going to go along with this. I think this is going to be their franchise. This is going to be Blumhouse's franchise. That they're going to, this and one other franchise that just came out this year. If they can still pull off stories with that, they got 2 franchises now. Besides, of course, their Paranormal Activities and Insidious. Like one that actually kids can get into.
Yeah.
Because if you want to, kids can get into the other 2, but not recommended probably for kids.
Yeah. Yeah, like I said, I feel like this is a movie made for a specific group of people, and that's fine. But also give the everyday people just a little something where they can go, oh, that makes sense. Because I'm watching this going, what's the purpose of this movie right now? Like, what is the end game of this? And then there is none because it sets up for the third one. And you're like, well, damn. But
you're right about that, though.
Yeah, it's just like I said, I'm not trashing the movie because I gave it a 3 out of 5. Like, right, it was above average for me just because I enjoyed a lot of the set design. I enjoy I enjoy the setting of that is my favorite thing about this franchise.
The way everything looks.
Is the way it looks, the way it feels, the animatronics, the Freddy Fazbear Pizza, because a lot of people my age grew up within those animatronic days with the restaurants,
Chuck E. Cheese.
The old school Chuck E. Cheese, where there were actually animatronics and everything like that. So I love the look of it. I love the merch. I love the puppets, the animatronics. Like, I love all of it. So I'm not shitting on the franchises like that, but the execution on the films feels like it's leaving a certain group of people out, to where you could lean just a little bit more into that and just blow this whole thing up even more. But they choose to focus on the fans and the hardcore fans, which is fine. I'm still going to watch. I'm still going to watch the third one.
Because if you think of the hardcore fans, that's where they're going to get their money from. So they got to follow that so they can get their money.
Yeah. Yeah, because like I said, I'm still going to watch the third one. I'm interested enough in this franchise from the first two to continue on. So I'm still going to watch it. I'm sure this is going to be dropped on Peacock sometime next year. So I'll watch it when it gets on Peacock again. And I'm getting
the Blu-ray copy. I got the Blu-ray copy of the first one, so I'll get this Blu-ray copy also.
Yeah. And dude, can we fucking talk real quick about the way that the busted up animatronics look so much better than the new, like, polished ones, man? And how
we talked about that in the very ending?
Yeah.
When they had like the
dude, because because I was like, oh shit, what's happening? And then all of it, like, that one got yeeted out of the fucking window, and the original Foxy comes in, and then fucking Freddy rips the other Freddy apart. Dude, that was sick. I was like, oh shit. Like I said, I go back to the design aspect of it, and that was the coolest part for me. It was, and then it got a little emotional, when that kid was like, hey, his spirit came out of the suit and was like, hey, we're no longer bound to these suits. We gotta go. And I thought, when he mentioned we can't keep him down no more, and then the post-credit scene happened, they're talking about Matthew Lillard's character. So I feel like he's going to come back in the third one, along with, I guess we'll go into theories right now because it's just coming in my head now. The third one, I think Matthew Lillard's character is going to come back with, what's his name? Slaptrap? Is that his name? Slaptrap?
Springtrap.
Springtrap. He's going to come back along with the marionette, who's now his daughter.
And of course, Michael's still out there.
And then Michael's still around. And they are going to, because if you remember, Charlotte got killed by Matthew Lillard's character, but she didn't blame him. She blamed all the parents for not listening to her. So she's upset with other people, not the guy who killed her, which is kind of weird, but she was a child at the time. She doesn't know any better. He killed her. She doesn't blame him for killing her. She blames the parents for not listening. So that is going to be like this family versus this family now. And it,
I just thought of,
and with that little boy saying, hey, we can't stop them anymore because they're out of Freddy Fazbear's Pizza. I think shit's about to pop off in this third one. My bad. Go ahead.
I think Vanessa don't. I think Charlotte's not Vanessa anymore. Hear me out. Hear me out. Everyone, hear me out with this one. The ending recorded. He gets tacked about. Henry gets tacked by the marionette, right? What about if the marionette goes into Henry? Because he wants to stay away from William Afton. What about if that's the thing that brings him back to William Afton?
Yeah. There's got to be something with him in this third one because, like I said, Skeet Ulrich just kind of felt like a throwaway in the third one. I mean, in the second one. So he's going to come back. So, yeah, is it going to be – it's got to be Mike, Abby, Henry, and then I can't remember his
Vanessa.
friend. No, his friend.
Oh, no. I know. I got you.
The dude was painting and everything. He's going to show back up too.
Because this is the rumor cast for the third one through Letterboxd. Mike, Vanessa, Abby, William Afton, which is going to be Springtrap, of Jeremiah, which is his friend, Charlotte Emily, Michael Afton, and Henry Emily.
Okay. So, yeah.
And I got another something, which shout out to the fans for picking this up, if this is true. The area when him and the boy are talking, they showed in the curtain, you know how it does like a quick shot to the curtain?
Yeah.
People think, I know, I gotta look up the lore for this. There's something called Golden Freddy. They think they see Golden Freddy looking at them through the window.
Golden Freddy?
And to be honest, Nightmare Freddy is the scariest character, and it's in the fourth. And I'm wondering if that's Golden Freddy. I'm wondering if they're leading up after the third one with this. And I'm like I told you.
Yeah.
The third's not going to be the last one. They're planning more.
Well, just reading this little quick synopsis of it, I'm like, this one seems to be he's seeking revenge because he's possessed by and he's the secondary antagonist who acts as the leader of the other animatronics, and he's a key figure in the plot, interacting with the protagonist Mike Schmidt, and ultimately leading the other animatronics to Abby. Oh no, dude! I don't. That's where this lore goes crazy because there's so many different.
To be honest, I'm thinking the more and more we could go into these movies, the more and more scary these movies will become.
Yeah, because like I said, dude, that fucking marionette thing is scary as shit. Like the mime face and everything. But all in all, like I said, I'm still gonna watch these movies, and I still might throw on a YouTube video or something to try to fucking explain a little bit more, because it scratches the itch for me where it could be a really cool franchise and could make these movies really fucking cool in the grand scheme of things. You know what I mean? As far as the lore, if you understand it. So, but I think everybody just needs to calm the fuck down. It's a movie. It's about a kid's game. Let's all just fucking enjoy it or not enjoy it. But golly, people are going crazy on the internet.
So they say the Golden Freddy, the original, not the original, but the Golden Freddy that Abby talks to.
Yeah.
Is that one in the movie? I think it's kind of like the marionette in them. How there's a separate area. I'm wondering if there's a Golden Freddy in that area. And this is how we get it.
Yeah.
Because they didn't explore, Mike and Vanessa didn't explore the whole entire area in the original Freddy Fazbear.
Right.
There could be something else in there.
Yeah. Yeah. So it definitely leaves a lot to be desired. And there's so much lore that they can go through. So, like I said, I'm down to keep watching these as they come out because I'm
And my
just
biggest.
that. Go ahead.
Oh no, you can go real quick. I got another question after you're done.
I'm that easy to please. Just give me some killer animatronics. Hopefully, fingers crossed, this next one, they give us a little fucking gore and blood on screen. Give us a little taste. Because who doesn't want to see a giant animatronic fucking rip somebody apart?
True. So what I was going to say is, who is Garrett? Garrett is, of course, at Mike Schmidt's little brother, right?
Yeah.
Where is he at? That's what I'm wondering. Is he going to be one of these animatronics, like these villains that we're going to get in one of these movies, and Mike's going to have to face against his brother?
You might have to. Yeah.
There's two, I think. One is this Golden Freddy dude that he has to face, or two, which is the scariest character, and that's Nightmare Freddy. That's the two I think that Garrett could be in.
Yeah. I feel like the more we get into this franchise, the more it's like the more questions we're gonna have, but I feel like the answers will be there. You know what I mean? We're not just flying blind with a lot of this shit, you know?
Like, it seems like a lot of the questions we had after the first one, they answered some of them in this one.
Yeah.
But do you have anything else?
No, I think we've kind of gone through our theories, and I don't got nothing else really, because that's all I got, man. All in all, like what you enjoy, and just leave it at that.
So before we head out, I got another thing I want to ask you. It's a little bit of a ranking we're going to have. Okay. So, of course, this is the last Blumhouse movie to be released this year. We had 6 released this year.
Okay.
I've only seen 5 of them. So, what would your ranking be of the Blumhouse movies so far this year that you have seen?
Got to read them off to me. I can't remember. I know.
And if you guys are wondering what the other one is, I do have it right here on 4K. I just didn't need watching. That's Megan 2.0. I haven't watched it yet. But so far it's been Wolfman.
Okay.
Woman in the Yard. Drop. Megan 2.0. Black Phone 2. Five Nights at Freddy's 2.
All right. So the last one is Wolfman. Golly, did not like that Wolfman movie. The next one is The Woman in the Yard, because I don't feel like it was made for me. I respect it. I know a lot of people enjoyed it, and it spoke to them, and that ending kind of gave me a sour taste in my mouth. So I'll put that one second to last. Then I will go with Drop. You know, actually, because I haven't seen Megan 2.0 either. I haven't seen that one either.
Okay, so that's the only one we haven't seen so far.
So I'm going to rank the 5. So Wolfman last, Woman in the Yard second to last. Then I'm going to go with Five Nights at Freddy's 2, Drop, and then Black Phone 2. I fucking love Drop. That one was such a surprise to me, and I really dug it. I'm surprised how much I enjoyed it, but that one was good. But that's mine. So Wolfman, Woman in the Yard, Freddy Fazbear, Drop, and then Black Phone 2 was my favorite. That shit was fire.
Okay, for me, number 5 is The Woman in the Yard. That ending really pissed me off. with the way they done it. That's what I'm going to say there. My fourth is Drop.
What?
I thought it was good, but that whole reveal at the end, me and Mom were watching, were kind of was predictable a little bit.
Yeah.
My third one is Wolfman. I enjoy what they done with it. Like after watching the original Wolfman later on that we did, it doesn't follow that lore, but I thought it was good with what they done with it. My number two is Five Nights at Freddy's 2. Explain that all in it. And my number one which is my favorite horror movie of this year, and that is The Black Phone 2.
Yeah. Yeah. That one was super fucking good. I got to rewatch it.
And that 4K comes out in 2 weeks. I got to put my pre-order in sometime for it.
Dude, we're running into where we got like a few more weeks, and we're gonna have to come up with a top 10. So I gotta get a lot of these movies that I haven't seen yet from 2025, and we're gonna have to come up with a ranking, man.
Oh, I already got my ranking calculated. If I've been doing that all year, so far I got 42 watched so far this year.
I have to go through altogether. I have, as far as movies go, altogether this year, so far I'm over 300.
Ooh, watched on your log this year?
Yeah, as far as how much I logged, I am at 320. Well, I'll be at 321 when I log Five Nights at Freddy's.
I'm at 244.
Yeah. I
done better than last year. I watched 213 last year.
Yeah. Yeah, so 321 is what I will have when I log Five Nights at Freddy's, actually log it. So yeah, we got a lot of stuff to choose from for sure. It's been a great year. We're coming to a close. We still got a couple more. Silent Night, Deadly Night is coming out,
which is next week. So
next week,
watch the movie.
Also, just watch the movie in general to support independent film and Cineverse and Bloody Disgusting, Screambox, all of those companies that are putting independent horror on the forefront, because that's really what we need, especially with all this nonsense about the monopolies and the freaking Warner Brothers and Netflix and stuff.
To be honest with you, I don't know if this is true. I heard that Paramount outbidded Warner Brothers. Outbidded Netflix.
They threw out a crazy deal with that was
like $100 billion or
$100 and something billion dollars. They gave like $40 billion extra in equity, but the thing was, Netflix wasn't going to get Discovery. They were going to get the Warner Brothers Entertainment, but not the Discovery part. So all the news and everything like that was going to still be Warner Brothers. It wasn't going to be controlled by Netflix or anything, like all the news channels, the CBSs, all that stuff. But Paramount said, well, we'll give you $40 billion extra, but we want it all. So they will control literally everything.
But you know what Netflix has said after that?
Huh?
Their CEO has said afterwards, what we're actually going to do is we're going to keep our window. You know how before we said we're going to try to cut down the window day of theatrical releases? Cut that. We're going to actually have your full theatrical releases now for all your Warner Brother movies. We're going to still do our same thing with Netflix, but we're going to let Warner Brothers release their movies full time in theaters. Yeah, put that on the table now.
Well, good. Like I said, I don't want Paramount to control everything, because Paramount, Paramount
has also said if Warner Brothers does agree with them, they're going to put at least 30 movies each year in theaters.
Yeah. The only thing that gets me, and we won't go into it because it's a whole rabbit hole, but with who owns Paramount and who runs it, with all the connections they have within the government, it could be quite a bit of, it's just a lot of control for one certain person. You know what I mean? It's a lot. So we'll see how it goes. But we have tons. Dakota and I focus a lot on independent films. I know most of the reviews I do on my channel, as well as him, is supporting independent films. So if you can follow along with us in this journey, like this podcast. If you're watching the YouTube, like, ring the bell notification, comment. Did you enjoy Five Nights at Freddy's 2? Are you a part of the lore? Do you know? Did anything that we said make sense? Let us know in the comments section. And if you are listening via Spotify or Apple, we thank you so much. Hit that 5-star. I believe you can leave comments on the episodes as well.
On Spotify, you
on
can.
Spotify, drop those comments. Dakota reads them. He lets me know about it. And, just let us know. You're a part of the Horror and Gore podcast just as much as Dakota and myself. So do all that. 5 stars, like, comment, share. We have our personal TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, all in the show notes. Like them all. Continue to rock with us. I know Dakota, or I know myself, and I know Dakota as well. There is a little bit of a fire under our asses with the content and where we want to go. So be a part of it. And we enjoy you being here. But with that being said, for myself and Dakota, as always, we thank you so much. We love you, and we will see you next Tuesday.
See you next Tuesday.